What's going on, guys? I am here today with another NFL preview for Week 2 in the 2012 NFL season, and tonight we have the first game of Week 2, Thursday Night Football, featuring the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, a big black and blue NFC North battle. And for me, being a Minnesota Vikings fan, I love games like this because the Vikings obviously are rivals with teams in the NFC North, and it's fun to watch your enemies beat the crap out of each other, and you can sit back and just watch it all play out. And so I've been excited for this matchup ever since it was announced as the first Thursday night game of the year. And so coming into Week 2 now, we have the Chicago Bears coming in with their new offense that they have with Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, a lot more balance and a lot more threat at wide receiver, obviously, now for Jay Cutler. He showed out in Week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts in their new 3-4 scheme, and he was a 300-yard passer last week and hooked up with Brandon Marshall a lot and targeted him a lot of times. And Alshon Jeffrey also had a deep touchdown catch in that game. And then on the other side, we have the Green Bay Packers, who are coming off of a defeat at the hands of the San Francisco 49ers last week at home. And so to preview this matchup, first I'm going to take a look at the Chicago Bears, and obviously they played a much weaker opponent last week in the Indianapolis Colts. First career start for Andrew Luck, and the Bears did bring a lot of pressure at Luck. They forced 4 turnovers, including 3 interceptions, 2 of them by cornerback Tim Jennings. I'm watching for him tonight to see how he does in coverage, because obviously the Packers have a lot of threats at wide receiver, and they're going to need all the help they can have in that secondary to cover all of those threats. And so I definitely want to see how well Aaron Rodgers is protected this week, but I just finished up watching that 49ers and Packers game again, and pressure alone is not going to be enough for the Bears to stop Aaron Rodgers tonight. They have to force turnovers, a forced fumble on a sack, or 1 or 2 interceptions in this game. Because even last week when Aaron Rodgers was under pressure and he had to roll out of the pocket, he was making good throws and he was also making good decisions. And so he had some inaccurate passes. He was 30 of 44 on the day, but he still made a lot of very good decisions. And the main mad one was that late one in the fourth quarter that was intercepted by Navarro Bowman. But the Packers, they have so many weapons on offense. I just wonder how well the Bears are going to be able to cover them all and how much pressure they're going to be able to get on Aaron Rodgers, because even if they get pressure, they got to force turnovers. That's a key for the Bears defense tonight. I say go all out, play risky defense, and try to get turnovers when you can. And I say this because I think the Bears can get away with that because they have a good offense in themselves now, with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey bolstering that passing attack big time. No more Johnny Knox, Earl Bennett, and Devin Hester. Earl Bennett's a great number 3 option now, or number 2 option, however you want to look at it. But they have 2 big pass catchers now on the outside that can box out cornerbacks and make a lot of physical plays. And I expect Brandon Marshall to get a ton of targets tonight. I'm expecting at least 15 targets thrown his way. I wouldn't be surprised. And so the main thing I'm looking at from the Bears defense is to see how aggressive their play calling is and how many chances they take with blitzes from the secondary, adding extra pressure and trying to rely on one-on-ones against James Jones, Randall Cobb. And we'll see if Greg Jennings plays. We also have Jordy Nelson on the outside. And so there's a lot to look for from the Packers offense. Of course, you have Jermichael Finley. I don't expect much from their rushing offense, though. I watched their game last week, and Cedric Benson, even if they had blocking, I couldn't see him busting off many big runs and really making that team more balanced. So I just don't think Cedric Benson has much left in the tank and much to offer to this Green Bay offense. I think they have better options elsewhere, and I don't think that's a big deal at all to the Packers offense. They hung in that game and they had a chance to go at the end and maybe tie it if Rodgers had more time to throw that pass to Jordy Nelson at the very end there. We'll never know how that would have gone if he didn't have that pressure in his face. But the Packers do not need a rushing attack, and they may even be better off with the ball just sticking into Rodgers' hands and having him shred defenses apart. But we'll see if Cedric Benson can prove me wrong. I mean, I didn't see much from him against San Francisco. They do have a great rush defense. But what I want to know is if the Bears can pressure Aaron Rodgers, make him make mistakes, and then get turnovers that help turn into points that can help the Bears get this victory. And then from the Bears offense, I expect to see a lot of passing from Jay Cutler. I mean, they're going to have the matchup advantage as far as physicality goes with Brandon Marshall against any player in the Packers secondary. And also running the football, I noticed this when I was watching the game. The Packers played much worse against the run, actually, when the 49ers wanted to bounce it outside. There was a lot of good plays outside by Kendall Hunter and Frank Gore. And of course, the Bears have Matt Forte. He can go outside, run off tackle, and he has some power as well to his game. He's a good all-around running back. I expect to see a lot of him running off tackle this week if they want to emulate the 49ers' success last week, because I thought the Packers actually did a decent job against Frank Gore up the gut. And I think if you want to attack the weaknesses, you go after Brandon Marshall, a lot Alshon Jeffrey, and you make Matt Forte run outside and catch passes out of the backfield and make the Packers show that they can tackle better and that they can make plays in space. And now I talked about balance not being a necessity for the Green Bay Packers, but I see it as more of a necessity for the Chicago Bears because Jay Cutler is no Aaron Rodgers, but he is a very good passer, and I can see the Bears having a lot of success tonight if they can have success through the air with Brandon Marshall and Alshon Jeffrey against this defense, and then combined with the running ability of Matt Forte and Michael Bush. I think there's a lot of potential for the Bears to have a very successful offensive night, and while both teams have some good offensive talent and the Bears have a better running game than the Packers do, I want to see which quarterback handles the pass rush the best, because I think both quarterbacks can be under pressure a lot tonight, but I think if the Bears can get the running game going and take pressure off of Jay Cutler, he can take advantage of the holes in that Packers secondary and make big plays downfield, whereas I think Rodgers is going to have to rely more on himself and making big plays, whereas I know he has the ability to, but it's whether or not he makes mistakes that end up turning into points for the Bears, and I cannot wait to see how this game unfolds and who comes out on top in the end. But I have some players to watch for each team. For the Chicago Bears, I want to see how Brandon Marshall does in that passing game, how many targets he gets thrown his way, and how many big plays in the passing game and touchdowns he can make against this defense. And also on the Bears offense, I'm looking at Matt Forte possibly taking this game over and making a lot of big plays, taking pressure off of Jay Cutler, making this offense very balanced. I want to see what can happen tonight with Matt Forte. I think he has potential to have a great game. And for the Bears defense, I'm watching out for Tim Jennings, the cornerback who had 2 interceptions last week against Andrew Luck, and I want to see if he can do anything tonight to help slow down this Packers passing attack. For the Green Bay Packers, I'm watching for Clay Matthews because he changed sides this year with the addition of Nick Perry through the NFL draft, who was drafted in the first round. And Clay Matthews had 2.5 sacks last week against the better left tackle, and now he's going against Jamarcus Webb, who is not one of the better left tackles in the league. He's probably going to get a lot of tight end help, I would assume, but perhaps I could open up Nick Perry or somebody else to apply some pressure that could force Jay Cutler to make mistakes. And my other player to watch for the Green Bay Packers is going to be Randall Cobb, who had a lot of targets last week and had 9 catches. He's also a threat on the punt returns or kick returns, and he has very big playability whenever he has the ball in his hands, so I'm watching for Randall Cobb. They'll pick up slack, especially if Greg Jennings does not play tonight, which he is doubtful. And so that is my preview of tonight's Thursday Night Football matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. And now for my predictions on this game. I did picks last week as well, and I was 9-7 overall, and tonight I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears to upset the Green Bay Packers 31-24. I like the Bears offense and their balance they have now with the passing attack along with Matt Forte, and I don't have very much confidence in that Green Bay defense, although I think Aaron Rodgers will keep them in this game and have a very good night overall. I think the Bears are going to come out on top with a close victory and move to 2-0 while the Packers fall to 0-2, and we'll see how that prediction holds tonight, guys. Looking forward to the game, though. Either way, whichever team wins, it's going to be exciting, I know that. So thank you guys for watching. Leave your thoughts about this game in the comment section, and I'll see you guys next time.